in the country.
When the national rankings at this point, 4 of the SEC schools are ranked in the top 6.
You know, obviously, Georgia coming in with that #1 ranking. They're a target because of that, but there was a lot more at stake for them in this meet because they are a 4-time defending champion. They have won this thing straight the last 4 years.
Well, Georgia's a great team, but they also have a great individual in Leah Brown. She's the defending SEC all-around champion and the premier vaulter in the country, being ranked #1 every week with an exception of 1 week this year. She's also the only collegiate to get a perfect 10 on her first meet out.
You know, and also, just in terms of one more weapon, she is one of 5 All-Americans for Suzanne Lachlan. That's why she is such a target.
Well, there's a lot of pressure, but we're pretty much familiar with that. I mean, we've been under a lot of pressure for about 4 or 5 years now, not only in the SEC conference, but at the national level as well. Our team always is in contention, and we finished in the top 3 in the country for the last 6 years. So obviously, people expect that from us, but we like when people expect a great deal from us because we expect the same from ourselves.
So the question facing Suzanne Lachlan, will she win this trophy for a 5th straight time? Or, as we asked the coaches, can the Bulldogs be beaten?
I think there's a lot of parity in this conference. There's a lot of outstanding performers. There's not one team that is that much stronger.
I think Florida, LSU, Alabama, and Georgia all have a chance. No one team can think, well, I've got it made.
I think that there is many more than one team that could win this meet. I think this league is very competitive, even more so now than in the past 3 or 4 years.
You know, one thing that Suzanne can expect tonight, obviously, is a tough challenge because 3 schools, Melissa, are going to push her tonight. Alabama, Florida, and LSU.
Alabama knows that Georgia can be beaten because they've already beaten them once this year. Florida's also coming off a huge win against defending NCAA champion Utah. And LSU has a lot of depth. They could do real well this evening.
There are a couple of dark horses here. One of those schools has to be Auburn because they come in with a reputation, but unfortunately, they've also come in with a lot of injuries, and that affects their depth.
Well, because of the injuries, on a couple of the events, they'll only be putting up 5 gymnasts, which is going to put a lot of pressure on the team. And they're not looking to win this competition. They're looking just to upset some of the SEC schools.
So everybody coming in with a couple of different goals. One of the goals, of course, for the Kentucky program is to do very well. And really, they have the best gymnast at this meet, Jenny Hansen.
Jenny Hansen is the 2-time defending NCAA all-around champion and vault champion. She's incredible, and she hopes to lead them to their first trip to the NCAA championship.
So Jenny Hansen obviously is a gymnast favorite to take the all-around title, but she is not the home favorite here. That goes to a Florida gymnast, obviously.
Well, with this SEC championship being here in Gainesville, there's Kristen Guys. She's been outstanding all year, has been their top all-arounder, and I know that she'll do well this evening.
You know, and one of the good omens for Florida especially, and you know this, but the last time the Gators hosted this thing was back in 1989. They weren't expected to win the championship, and that's exactly what they did. When we come back, we'll see it because the action is next. The gymnasts are getting ready to take the floor. It is a 1995 Women's SEC Gymnastics Championship coming at you after this.
First, I figured I'd forgotten where I'd parked.
So the Florida competitors chalking up, getting ready to dust off the competition, which is something my broadcast partner did very well. Melissa Miller-Schuback, 4 years here at the University of Florida, 1986 to 1989.
I was very fortunate. My senior year, I had an opportunity to compete here in the SEC Championship, and Florida won it that year. So it's really neat being back in the midst of all this competition.
And, you know, also you set a mark, 6 SEC career titles. That may fall tonight because Jenny Hansen has a shot at it. She comes in with 5.
Well, I tell you, she is an incredible gymnast along with many others on every team that's here, and it wouldn't surprise me if she broke them. All the gymnasts have been breaking records left and right this year, so it'd be no surprise at all.
You know what I think is going to strike people when they watch this is just the sheer athleticism that is on display here. It is an individual sport, but there's a team attitude out here. The question is, what's the mindset of the gymnasts right now?
Well, at the start of it, they're very nervous, very anxious, and they have a lot of adrenaline flowing in them. They've got to learn to take that and place it in the right direction and not go too much. They may over-rotate skills if they have too much adrenaline. They have to find that happy medium and just go out and do their best.
All right, let's take a look at the first 3 rotations because where you start and where you finish as a team in terms of events is very important strategically.
Well, last year at the national championship, Georgia started on the floor, ended on the beam, and they had some trouble possibly being overconfident. And it's balance beam is one of the most difficult events to compete on in any competition. It can make or break a team. Florida starting out out on the balance beam. Also, you know, that's a tough event to start on. Judy Abner's thrilled to death about it. And, of course, all the coaches, they take where they're starting and just try to make it a positive.
All right, Melissa, tonight you're going to see adrenaline, you'll see nerves, power, and our first competitor is set and ready to go. And this is the first competitor in the 1995 SEC Women's Gymnastics Championships, Erin Gannon from Auburn, Melissa on the vault.
And she'll be performing a handspring front in a tuck position. The girls are required to show their vault before they actually perform it.
And obviously we're looking for height and distance.
She sticks the landing, does a nice vault, and then she'll prepare for her second one.
That's the benefit of the vault is you get two. So obviously Coach Dillard prepping her for their second one, and you take the best out of the two.
And if a girl makes a mistake on the first one, then they know they've got that second chance at bettering it or making an improvement in some way.
All right, Coach Suzanne Yockman from Georgia giving her troop the pep talk. Four-time defending champion. Her team is loaded. This is Lori Strong.
She starts off with a 2.5 twist. Gymnasts are required to not only tumble, but be able to dance as well.
And they get to pick their own music, and they've got 90 seconds to basically perform what is an extension of their own personality.
And we'll be hearing a variety of different floor exercise musics tonight.
Lori Strong coming into this evening as one of the favorites to win the all-around title. Look at this.
She does a front full into a mounter to finish off nicely.
Oh, good strong finish. Take a look at the replay because she does, Melissa, end this very well.
You see a front handspring with a front full into a mounter, and she completes it very well.
So Lori Strong, one of the many All-American weapons that Georgia has. This is Alabama's Stephanie Woods getting ready to take on the bars.
Sarah mounting, jumping onto the high bar with a cast handstand. Stalled her handstand with a grip change. Press with a half turn. Giant half. Moving down onto the low bar, which is also a requirement.
Yeah, they're required to have, what, 3 bar changes and at least 1 directional change.
Moving back up to the high bar. Cast handstand, stalled her handstand. Getting ready for a dismount.
An impressive
Giant
run.
Pike double back, nice landing.
Oh, that should generate a good score. That was a very, very good event. So Alabama issues a warning. They will be tough to beat. Auburn, on the other hand, comes in with a lot of injuries. Heather Coffeen is a walk-on to the vault.
She's done a great job on a very short time. I mean, in fact, she practiced 3 days and vaulted in her first competition. She's never vaulted in college competition in her life, and she was petrified, to say the least. But she has really come a long ways, and you know, it just stands as reason. I mean, you know, you can't tell about people. Given an opportunity, some people can fool you as to how well they can do.
And Melissa, this is Heather right here, and really it's a great story, a walk-on competing in this championship.
And her vault is not extremely difficult. It'll only be out of a 9.5. She does a souk in the pike position, a couple of steps on the ending. That's going to cost her.
Nerves, probably inexperience, hurting her on the landing, I would say. Now, this is Georgia's Leslie Angeles. Disappointed, I know, Melissa, coming off that floor event because over her career, she's been very consistent on the floor, but she had a disappointing finish tonight.
And we're looking at the pass that she did have trouble on. She's doing a round off back handspring, pike double back, too much energy, can't control it, and she has to take the fall.
She came in as a second-team All-American, a lot of adrenaline obviously rolling, and you can see the score there, not the number she wanted. But this is the gymnast you want to finish the floor event for you. Georgia's Leah Brown, and they always have the best finish last, and obviously she is a contender for the all-around title. Little slip right there, though, Melissa.
She's starting with a difficult full twisting double back, maybe a tent deduction, a little low on the landing. It's not going to hurt her too badly.
The order of routines for the gymnasts, obviously, they start with the weakest and end with the strongest, each event.
You see her fulfilling her dance requirements. Getting ready for a second tumbling pass. Punch front, round off.
Uh-oh.
Straddle jump back handspring. I don't think that's the event, the pass that she wanted to do.
So you're saying that was probably a mistake right there?
Probably. It may not cost her if she still has the required difficulty.
Georgia, of course, coming in as 4-time defending SEC champions, and they are also ranked #1 in the country. Here's the finish.
She has a round up a handspring, double back, nice ending.
Oh yeah, Leah Brown from Georgia. She gets a 9.775 on the floor. Stephanie Woods gets a 9.9 on the bars, and we'll be back. The SEC Gymnastics Championships continue. From the University of Florida, but it's not just a home meet for the Gators. Auburn's Heather Brown. Her dad lives just down the road, about 2.5 hours away in Brandon.
It's great. It's my senior year, and there's going to be people that are going to get to see me that, you know, my parents get to come up and see me, but grandparents and aunts and uncles and my coach from my high school gymnastics, they've never seen me compete. And this is going to be, just being my senior year, it's going to be a good meet for them to come watch.
So Heather Brown, actually one of the few injury-free gymnasts at Auburn, comes into this meet with Melissa. And on this bar routine, she starts off with a very difficult maneuver called a Wilson.
And this is her best event. She moves very nicely on it, starting with an uprise to the high bar. There's the Wilson. Fast handstand, giant. Direction change, swing over the low bar. Moving back up to the high bar. Press to a handstand, getting ready for a dismount, giant, tuck double back, and a nice landing.
Velcro on the feet. She nails the landing. A very solid routine, and Dad obviously likes it. So do the judges, 9.875. Meanwhile, on the beam, LSU's Amy McCloskey.
See back handspring into a jump. They're required to connect acrobatics with their jumps in their beam routine.
You know what's incredible is you can pull off moves like this on something that's only 4 inches wide.
And her dismount, a round off double twist, 1 step on the ending.
Now, when you have trouble like that on the landing, they take off 1/10 for each step backwards. Heather Brown, 9.875, as I said on the bars. Kristen Guys getting ready for her floor routine. This is Kentucky coach Leah Little firing up her team as Jenny Hansen, Melissa, prepares to take on the vault, an event that she is the defending national champion in.
She's a very strong, powerful vaulter. She's doing a handspring front tuck with a half twist. Great landing.
She is the one bright spot for this Kentucky team. We said coming in, their goal was just to make the NCAAs, not win this event. Hansen's goal is to get better every time out. She always strives to improve.
Even though she scores 10s and won 2 national titles, she still wants to improve, and she's better this year than last year, and she's still untapped. She can still go even farther with her skills, so that's pretty special.
Take a look at that vault from a different angle. A lot of height and distance here.
You see the handspring front with a half twist, nails the landing.
Nails her feet to the floor, and you can see the judges appreciate it. 9.975 for Jenny Hansen. Here's her second vault.
She's going to be performing a vault that you will rarely see in collegiate competition. Handspring front with a full twist. A little trouble on the landing, but she's happy she's got the first vault.
All right, so Jenny Hansen is happy, but right now all eyes on Florida's Kristen Guys getting ready for her floor routine. This is kind of an upbeat number, Melissa, because Kristen dances to the music of Def Leppard.
Very unique routine. She really enjoys. She's a great dancer. She'll be concentrating on that first tumbling pass. It's so important to start the routine out and be solid. And here she goes. Round up a handspring, pike double, a little hop.
Mom likes it. That's Maureen, guys.
Now you'll see her dance in a routine, which is in addition to their tumbling. Getting ready for that second tumbling pass. Round up a handspring, 2.5 twists. Very difficult because it's a blind landing.
You can hear the shift in music. The moves obviously flow with it, and it's an incredible bit of choreography when you think that these gymnasts only have about 1:10 to 1:30 to do the whole routine.
And it doesn't seem like much, but it's so tiring while they're out there. They're giving it their all. And you'll see them before their last tumbling pass. They'll be taking a few deep breaths before they go.
Oh, she's just been perfect timing-wise so far.
You see the gator chomp in her routine? Very nice. that one little mistake at the beginning. Let's see if she can finish strong. Round off 1.5 twist into a full twist. Great
she
job.
nails it. She nails it. Kristen Guys from Florida.
She should score well with this routine.
You can hear the hometown crowd. They are in the O'Connell Center. And remember, last time they were back here in 1989, Mom knows that the Florida Gators won the entire SEC championship. Take a look at the replay, Melissa.
You see the last tumbling pass, it's a tuck 1.5 twist into a full twist, and I know preparing for the NCAA championship, she's going to want to add another twist to that ending.
You can see the celebration, and I think you've got the feeling that she could come up with a kind of score that could put her at the top, and it does, 9.90, so she has got to be vaulting to the top to maybe be the favorite to win the all-around title. We'll be back with more. The SEC Women's Gymnastics Championships continue. Welcome back. It's the 1995 SEC Women's Gymnastics Championships. Chip Carter and Melissa Millis-Schubeck, and let's take a look at the numbers, because right now the University of Georgia tenuously hanging in there by a thread. Up next, Georgia's Lori Strong getting ready to take on the vault, and really she is one of the nation's top all-arounders, Melissa.
She'll be performing a handspring front in a pike position that's worth a possible 10-0.
Very powerful gymnast.
Great landing. Not much room for error there.
No, that was nearly perfect looking, really. Take a look at it in the replay, and really you can see this is as close to perfection as you can get. Maybe needed a little more height.
You see the pre-flight didn't get quite the lift that she needed, and a great landing.
But when you look at the reaction, especially from Suzanne Yocklin, you know that she almost nailed it. This is the second vault.
And she'll try to better her vault by sticking the landing on this one. Good strong vault, little hop at the end.
Still getting the congratulations. Very strong. Let's take another look at it. Suzanne Yocklin, look at the reaction. She definitely likes it. Let's see if the judges like it, I think, is the big question. She comes up with a 9.9 for a score. Kentucky's Jenny Hansen now getting ready for the bars. The NCAA all-around champ the last 2 years in a row. And really, when you're looking for the all-around title, obviously in a meet like this, Melissa, there can be no slips, or in this case on the bars, there can be no falls.
And every tenth is going to be very important here. She's got a nice start. Moving up to the high bar, cast handstand, half turn, into a nice Ginger for her release move. Jaeger.
Oh, no.
And that's really going to hurt her.
She's got 30 seconds to get back up, and obviously she will. Take a look at it, Melissa. What happened?
She's so strong and so powerful. She might have let go just a little bit too early. The bar was right there, but just not close enough to grab back onto.
Just fractions away from obviously completing that.
And very unusual to see her make a mistake at all.
But she will get right back up and finish the routine, and really she has the attitude to come back from this.
And we'll see if she can keep her composure and finish off the routine strongly. Getting ready for a dismount giant. Full twisting double back, great landing.
And to nail a landing like that, especially after the fall that she takes, I think you can see the fortitude that Jenny Hansen brings to every meet. She finishes with a score of 9.30. This is Georgia's Kim Arnold getting ready to take on the vault. She is one of the country's best vaulters and beam workers.
She had a nice quick run, handspring front in a pike position, little squat at the end, but she did stick the landing.
Arnold is an explosive vaulter, in fact, scoring perfect 10s 3 times this season. And you can see, even though this is an individual competition, there's a lot of team camaraderie. Georgia's teammates cheering on their own Kim Arnold as she hits the vault. This is Alabama's Kim Kelly. Melissa, you know her favorite event is usually the competitor's least favorite event, the balance beam.
I've just always been very, very comfortable, and a lot of people just hate the beam and they're dreaded, and I just feel really comfortable when I go. Like, my event like that is bars. I always get nervous for bars, like everybody does beam. I just feel really comfortable on beam.
How comfortable does she feel? Well, she gets on with a front flip.
Very nice start. Very difficult. Some of the girls just want to get on the beam with an easy mount, and she goes for it all right at the beginning. You see a switch leap into a puck jump. You hear a lot of the noise around her. She has to be very concentrated. Back handspring, lay out, step out.
Uh-oh, trouble.
Fighting to stay on and doesn't quite make it. That's going to cost her 5/10.
Yeah, you can see she just starts to windmill a little bit on the replay.
The back handspring looked fairly straight. It looked like as she landed, she turned her body and just couldn't seem to fight. But, of course, she's fighting for every 10th here in this competition.
Exactly, because she knows how important each 10th of a point is, obviously, in the all-around competition.
And this is also going to put the pressure on the other Alabama gymnasts because now they must hit to get a good beam score. Fulfilling her full turn requirement.
That's the uniqueness of this meet, because it's also not only what they do individually, but also team-wise.
She does a front full as a dismount.
As you can see the disappointment, obviously, Melissa.
Very difficult. Hopefully the team can rebound.
All right, this is LSU's Jennifer Wood, a former Canadian Olympian, and really, Jennifer had the finest year of any gymnast in school history. She is one of the favorites to win any event, as well as the all-around championship, and she has a dynamic floor routine.
And, of course, the music plays a big part in the routine. I like her choice of music here, and I think the audience is able to get into it as well. Getting ready for that crucial first tumbling pass. She's doing a full twisting double back. Nice landing.
And you can see the mat that they are now allowing to sort of use as a safety measure just to cushion that landing a little bit, but it also helps the competitors because you can't tell if they land in or out of bounds. Oh, that's nice.
Very unique choreography in this routine as well. Shushanova. Little change of pace in the music. This will give her a little bit of breathing time to get ready for their tumbling passes.
LSU gymnasts performing very well this evening, and I think that's going to kind of create some pressure. Georgia may be feeling the heat a little bit when we come out of this.
And you see a tuck double back. Very nice. At this point, she's concentrating on a great ending. Last tumbling pass, round off 1.5 with a front full. Very unique.
Oh, yeah. LSU's Jennifer Wood, a former Canadian Olympian.
1, 2, 3, go!
And they are going. They're doing very well right now, and I think they just may catch some people by surprise. Leah Brown, however, on the vault, never catches anyone by surprise. Ranked as the country's premier vaulter, all but 1 week this season, owns 3 perfect 10s on the vault. In fact, she's the #1 ranked gymnast, obviously, on the vault.
And you see her flashing a 2.92, which is a handspring front pike with a half twist. A very difficult vault. She's just a little bit excited about that vault.
Oh, yeah. Look at the replay.
Handspring. Her legs are completely straight. She does the half twist and a little hop at the end.
Now, how much would that hurt her, obviously?
That's going to cost her about a 10.
Here's her second one.
She's hoping to stick this one. Handspring front pike. And again, a little hop. The first one was just a little bit better.
In fact, I think in that hop, I wonder if she didn't come down on an ankle wrong just a little bit.
It looked like she landed just a little bit low on the landing. And, of course, there's a lot of pressure coming down on her ankles.
But she will be okay, even though she's limping a little bit. Her score, 9.95. And we'll be back with more. The SEC Women's Gymnastics Championships. This is the O'Connell Center at the University of Florida. This is also the midway point right now of the 1995 SEC Women's Gymnastics Championships. And really, Melissa, when you take a look at the team totals halfway through, we could have one of the closest finishes in SEC history here.
Well, at this point in the meet, LSU and Georgia are within 1/10 of each other. Florida and Alabama within hundreds of each other, so very tight.
Georgia, of course, got off to a shaky start, mainly because of Leah Brown, who hurt her ankle after that vault. Back at the O'Connell Center. Georgia trainers feverishly working on the ankle area of Leah Brown. I don't think it's a bruise as much as just maybe a strain or a cramp the way they're stretching it out, Melissa.
And she's a crucial part of this Georgia lineup, and they're definitely going to need her back in there.
She has bars and beam left in the competition, and bars is where we find Andrea Dewey right now, who is one of the most consistent performers in this event for Georgia.
She's starting out with a press to the high bar, giant half turn, grip change, half pirouette, giant full, into a release move to Katja. Working down onto the low bar. Giant full pirouette into her dismount, a tuck double back, great landing.
Oh, she nails it. And you know, I think Georgia may be feeling the pressure a little bit. They came in as the defending champion with that #1 ranking, but Alabama and LSU putting pressure on them.
And looking at that release move, nice high to Katchev. You see the coach in the background ready in case she happens to miss the skill. Looking at her dismount, another giant pirouette into a nice high tuck double back. Again, a great landing for the Georgia gymnast.
Now, this is the time that has Suzanne Yocklin holding her breath a little bit. Leah Brown, just a sophomore, but so much a leader on this team, and especially the landing coming off these bars. We'll see if the ankle holds up.
She starts with a straddle over the low bar, press to a handstand, giant Healy twirl into her release move.
Perfect.
Shoot over the low bar, working back up to the high bar, cast handstand to Katja. She's moving great. Getting ready for a dismount, full pirouette.
Let's see what the reaction
tuck
is.
double, great job.
Oh yes, and you can see the reaction from Leah Brown. The ankle holds up, and Georgia maybe starting to put it together a little bit of a surge. Her score 9.875. Now, Melissa, this girl is a great story. Alabama's merit boot, just a freshman, but she is Alabama's last competitor on the floor.
Of course, getting ready for that first tumbling pass. She's starting with a ground up back handspring, tuck double back. Beautiful. And this Alabama team always has such unique and great choreography. I always love to watch them.
Talk a little bit about when you're the last competitor on the floor, you start with what consistency and you finish with pizzazz, maybe.
Generally, the last performer is the strongest performer, and they kind of finish up the rest of the lineup. Her second tumbling pass, handspring, front full into a granny. Seeing some of that unique choreography. She looks great as a freshman coming in. She doesn't appear to be too nervous and is really doing a great job for Alabama.
Yeah, hard to believe she's just a freshman.
Her last tumbling pass, 1.5 twist. That's called a Rudy. 1.5 cat leap.
Oh, a very nice routine, and I'll tell you what, Melissa, right now Alabama having a very nice championship run as a team. Booth score 9.925. The Crimson Tide, if they keep this up, could win this thing. This is Agina Simpkins, the 1993 national champion on bars. She has scored a perfect 10 in this event.
And she's already off to a great start. You see her dismount, double back, a little step on the end.
The Georgia crowd getting into it a little more because they want this run for that championship. That would be their 5th straight. Meanwhile, coming up on the bars, Lori Strong, who is so strong for the Bulldogs in this event, she has a move named after her. Strong, naturally.
It's a shoot 1.5 over the low bar, and this year I've put a connection in front of it. I'm doing a hop full to immediate hex, so that's an E to a D. And we put the 1.5 back in this year. Hoping there's a lot of good bar workers out there, and I'm hoping that that will set me apart from the others.
She definitely has the ability to set herself apart from the others. Lori Strong from the University of Georgia.
And she is great on this event, defending national champion. You see doing a hop full into her Katchev and 5/10 fall right there. I wonder now if she's going to end up doing the strong, the move that was named after her that she was describing earlier.
Because of that fall, obviously. What happens? She just loses her grip on the bar. If we take a look at it on the replay, you can see, Melissa, that her hands do land on it.
She does the hop full. Does a great job on that. Nice and high. Her hands are on the bar. Possibly slip. She's not used to this equipment at Florida, and sometimes that could be a factor.
So she gets back up to finish her routine, and that would be interesting to note to see if she comes up with a move named after her, which is called the strong.
And she doesn't do it. She just moves into a handstand onto the low bar.
So Lori Strong changing her routine after a fall here this evening.
On her dismount, layout double back, great dismount.
But you can see the lack of emotion. She's obviously frustrated and disappointed in that. In this performance, that as we see the score from the judges, she will not be on the podium in bars. And we'll be back with more from the SEC Championships. Jennifer Wood, and she has turned the record book into her own personal biography this year.
She's doing a handspring front tuck with a half twist. Great job. A little bounce on that landing, but she was going on to another mat that was added on to ones that were already there.
Her score 9.95, and Wood owns the top mark not only in vault but also bars, beam, and all around, and she has scored 3 10s on the vault for LSU.
She'll be doing the same vault. Better landing. You know, she took the other mat out that time, and that helped her on the landing.
This is the superstar. So the stars on the leotard are fitting Kentucky's Jenny Hansen.
And she is so solid. She starts with a front flip mount on. You see her smiling. She acts like she's just doing it on the floor.
Which is incredible because there's a lot of pressure for her right now in this beam event because she had that earlier fall on bars. She cannot afford any more mistakes.
Beautiful acrobatic series. She did back handspring, layout, step out, and of course solid as always. Switch leap into a nice jump.
Kentucky, of course, coming in not with a real good chance to win the championship here, but they have a different goal. They would like to make the NCAAs.
She's working down onto the beam, which is also a requirement. Back handspring, half turn with the jump. Very difficult on 4 inches.
And look at her face because she's smiling. You can just feel the confidence radiating off of Jenny Hansen.
You see her getting set up for that dismount. Actually punch front. Very solid.
And she knows that Jenny Hansen entertaining the crowd here at the O'Connell Center. Look out.
Round off, double twist. Oh, great routine.
Nailed it. Here's the replay.
Very solid punch front.
9.95 on the beam for Kentucky's Jenny Hansen. Meanwhile, this is Florida's Kristen Guys, ranked #1 on bars earlier this season. An incredible story here, Melissa, because she came into this meet not feeling very well.
She's been sick, had lost a little bit of weight. Her strength maybe not be there tonight. We'll see what she does. Nice to Tkachev. And she moves with such great form. Her legs are always tight, no form breaks. All she's got to do is get ready and hit her dismount. Giant. Tuck double back. A little hop, but a great job. She's happy with that one.
You can see the reaction as she does the little hop. Here's the replay. Watch.
You see a front giant, half pirouette. She's getting ready for her Tkachev. Nice and high, nice tight legs.
So Kristen Guys, 9.90, and right now that score puts her near the top for the all-around. Dad's got the calculator. Let's see what he thinks.
There's a shot at she could be in the top 2 or 3 all around on this. I know we were just doing the math on there, and she got the 39. Was it 39.65, I believe it was, which that would be her all-time best. So we're really pleased at what she did tonight.
Meanwhile, Georgia Suzanne Yochlin at the other end of the emotional spectrum can feel the title slipping away. Going into the final rotation, this will be the grand finale, Melissa.
And Florida and Auburn have already finished their 4 events. Florida has a 195.65, which is a great team total. Auburn almost a full 5 points behind Florida. All they can do now is sit back and watch the other teams perform.
So look for a photo finish.
as promised.
Is this the face of a future SEC champion? Will she one day wear the SEC championship ring that my broadcasting colleague Melissa Miller-Schubeck wears for the 1989 championship with Georgia? Tension on the faces because this is the last rotation, and Georgia has to end on the balance beam. That's a very tough way to finish.
It's difficult to finish on beam. There's a great deal of pressure on us. We're going to have to hit all the routines, but if we do, I think we'll win the title.
I just told the kids we lost the NCAA championships by 5/100ths of a point, and I said when we go to vault on the last event, lay it all on the line, do the best job you can, and let's walk off a vault knowing that there wasn't 1/10 that we could have given back.
So Georgia starts on the beam, Alabama finishes on the vault, and LSU is on the bars. This is Christy Savoie for the Tigers, and incredibly, out of 35 routines for her this year, she has only fallen twice, once on the bars, Melissa.
And she started with a vault over the high bar, cast handstand, counter swing to a press handstand, nice to Kachev. She's moving very well. And getting ready for that dismount. Giant toe on front, half twist, great routine.
Beautiful routine, and right now LSU has got a lot of momentum. They could be surprising some people here this evening. This is Alabama's Chastity Junkin, a senior, a two-time All-American.
Great vault. She does the handspring front pike, nails the landing, and they're going to need every 10th they can get.
Alabama and LSU, I would think, right now at this point, probably neck and neck. Let's see what the score will be. And look at the reaction. The score, a 9.975 for the two-time All-American. Let's go back and show you how Georgia's doing in some of the earlier competitors on the beam. This is a freshman, Julie Ballard, the first one up. A very solid routine, Melissa. She finishes with a 9.825.
You're seeing her dismount, a round-off double twist. Great routine.
This is a big disappointment, and now I think Leslie Angelis, watch.
A little bit crooked from the takeoff, lands off the mat, falls down, and that's really going to put the pressure on the next few Georgia gymnasts.
I think you can clearly say at this point that Georgia's in a bit of a hole, and you can see that emotion reflected so clearly in their faces at this point. Next up for Georgia, the pressure squarely on her shoulders, sophomore Leah Brown. The pressure is on. She simply has to be perfect, but the smile exhibits nothing but confidence. You have got to love the athletes in this meet.
And she is the defending SEC all-around champion, so she knows that she can come up here and hit this routine. Balance beam is a tough event to compete because you know if that person ahead of you has fallen, there's that much more pressure on you to hit, since they do take 5 of the 6 scores to count. Back handspring, layout step.
Oh!
Terrible fall.
My gosh. Is she going to get back on and finish? That's the question. Leah Brown, a terrible fall here. Unbelievable. She's getting back on the beam.
And these gymnasts are so tough. They're determined to get up and finish that routine. She knows how important it is at this point.
So Leah Brown, who came into this meet, is the defending all-around champion. Doggedly finishes this off after an incredible fall.
Switch leap into a gainer back handspring. That was solid. Full turn.
Whew, you talk about courage and tenacity. I think she's exhibited both very well here this evening.
Double straddle jump. And concentrating and setting up for that important dismount. She's doing a round off, hike double back, and a couple steps at the end.
Still smiling, and the entire crowd giving her a very warm reception. Now, this is Alabama's Kim Kelly getting ready for the vault, and she has a good luck charm. Her mom gives it to her before every meet. The Cabbage Patch Kid. She always takes a lot of teasing about it, but so far it's paid off. Let's see what good luck she has this evening.
And she'll be doing a handspring front in a pike position. Couple of steps. She's going to try to stick that landing on her second vault.
Which is exactly what I think Sarah Patterson was saying right there. She has another shot at it. It was close to perfection. Let's see if she can reach it.
And you can see the Alabama gymnast behind her, so determined to win this meet. Handspring front pike. Great ball.
Nailed it.
I didn't see any room for error in that ball.
Here's the replay.
Let's look at it again. Handspring front, nice lift, straight legs, and she didn't budge.
You can see the reaction from the coaches. Obviously, Sarah Patterson would like to see the perfect score here. Let's see what the judges give her. Actually, the championship of the meet could be hanging on the line. And it is a perfect 10 for Kim Kelly. Alabama could very well take the championship on that vault. Meanwhile, this is Jennifer Wood from LSU on the bars.
And she does the Wilson, a little bit of form break on that release move.
On bars so far this season, Jennifer Wood has scored a 9.9 or better in 4 meets this year.
Tuck double back, a little hop, very solid routine for LSU.
9.875 for Jennifer Wood. And really, Melissa, is there a better way to end this meet than Jenny Hansen on the floor? She is the last competitor to go this evening. This is how you want the whole thing to end.
Well, she is so strong and so powerful, and you can just feel the energy coming from her. She'll be starting out with a very difficult first tumbling pass. Round up a handspring, full twisting, double back in a pike position. Very solid. And of course, as usual, we see her smiling constantly throughout the routine.
She's the ultimate performer, really, out here this evening, Jenny Hansen. Every time she steps to the mat, all eyes are upon her. The interesting note with her is her choice of music, because Jenny Hansen goes with some solid rock and roll. You don't often hear Van Halen during a floor routine.
Last year I had ZZ Top, and it was okay. I got into the music, but this year I don't know. That's the kind of music I listen to, is Van Halen and things like that. So just having that as floor music, I can feel it more and I can get more rhythm in it, and that's what makes me perform, I think, a little bit to my best ability on floor.
You can feel it. Actually, I think the judges have got to be pulled into it, the way she gets the entire O'Connell Center going.
And you see her last pass, whip back, double twist, very unique, very difficult ending. And that's why she's one of the best in the country.
Jenny Hansen from the University of Kentucky will be back. The results are next from the SEC Women's Championship.
The winner.
Judges totaling up the results. This is what we've been waiting for and working towards all night. Nail-biting time for coaches, literally. Do you think they're a little nervous out there, Melissa?
Just a tad bit. I think, though, they may have in their mind somewhere where they placed.
I think in her mind, the parents of Kristen Guys know that she may have won the all-around title. As she hears the names being rolled off and she doesn't find herself in third place, the emotion starts to build for the Floridian gymnast. Kristen Guys, who came in to this meet not feeling well at all. Kim Arnold is in second place. And that means that Kristen Guys, the emotion overwhelming, she takes the all-around title for the University of Florida. Some very proud parents right there.
It's got to be great for Kristen, winning the SEC Championship. She's won meet after meet this year, and this puts her in contention for a national championship.
So let's take a look at the list of top 10 all-around winners. Kristen Guys, of course, on top. And actually, the last Floridian gymnast to win the all-around championship was my own broadcasting partner, Melissa Millis-Schubeck. So that was back in 1989. And when you look at the list of top 10, you've got to give the seniors some serious congratulations. Colleen Johnson in that 5th spot from Florida, just a great meet tonight. Heather Brown, also a senior from Auburn. And then in 8th spot, Chastity Junkin, a senior from Alabama. When we come back, the team championships are next. The championship moment. The University of Alabama has taken the 1995 Women's SEC Gymnastics Championship, Melissa.
And this is an important win for Alabama, because being in one of the toughest gymnastic conferences, they could possibly go on and win the national championship, and they've ended Georgia's winning streak.
That's senior Chastity Junkin holding the trophy for Alabama. A very proud moment for her. And as we take a look at the team finishes, it's the closest margin of victory since 1991. Now the coaches are gearing up up for the NCAAs.
I think that our whole team is really optimistic about their chances at the national championships, and I really don't think that this is going to knock them down too far. They're disappointed, but they're not devastated, and there's a big difference. So they'll be back, and they'll be better.
I think they knew when I looked into their eyes and I said, we can be first or we can be fourth. And, you know, we had the capability of having great vaults, and they just put it together. And the coaching staff got together, and we changed the lineup around, and we went for the vaults that we knew could score big, and they responded.
So the 1995 Women's SEC Gymnastics Championship is now history. Alabama, the top winner, but I think the biggest story, obviously, is where LSU finished over Georgia, second and third.
Well, we knew with LSU having a lot of depth that they could come in, and if they hit their routines, they could place well, and they surprised everyone by placing second.
And when you look at the individual all-around winner, Kristen Geis takes it for Florida. She is their top gymnast, but wasn't really favored to take it coming into this meet.
Well, she had been consistent all year, and they knew that she had the capability of winning this individual competition, but a lot of the other top gymnasts went down with falls, and every little tenth was counting in this competition.
So on the line tonight, pride, emotion, bragging rights. From here, the best in the country go to the Nationals. So for Melissa Miller-Schubach, I'm Chip Carter. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.
The IHL